Hi, I'm Adam C, and welcome to my 350Z. It's going to be an awkward one. Do I call it a 350Z like us British do, or do I call it a Z because it rhymes with Adam C? Put your comments in the comment section below. Now I'm here with my dog, who you may not be able to hear. I will get a shot of her now. Hello, Roxy. She won't bark for you, I'm afraid. But today is my Q&A, and this video is brought to you by carhuddle.com, the free online car show directory. Now, I've got them all on my phone. I asked you on Instagram, which is here, to ask me a series of questions, and I will try and find the post. Oh, that was a pair of boobs. So I'm just going to read them. There's no entertaining way of doing this. I could have like one of my friends with me, but they're all busy doing things at the moment. I don't know what they're doing. So the first comment is, how do you and the likes of VTSV etc know each other? Are you the old friends, or did you meet all via the car shows? Funny I should just mention my friends. Basically, VTSV found me on YouTube. He was watching my videos and he messaged me on YouTube and said, hey, I've got a Mustang, do you want to meet up? So he did have an old Mustang Fastback whilst I had my MGB, that was my only car at the time, and we met up at Goodwood because he's a regular to Goodwood and as am I. I believe it was a Peter Saywell track day. He showed off his Mustang, I made a little video on it, and then it spiraled on from there. DDM Historics did a similar thing. He found me on YouTube, messaged me on YouTube, realised we were both kind of similar age, classic car owners. He had his Alpha 1600 GT Junior, I had the MGB as well, and we kind of met up at a show local to me, and BMW Ollie was a friend of David's who met us there at the same time as well, just came along with David. So that's how we all kind of met. And then I went to Goodwood Meets with kind of them lot together, and we kind of merged eventually. And that's how they all got to know each other. And something funny about DDM Historics is Wheels Day 2013, I was stood at the exit watching the cars leaving, as I always do, and DDM Historics was there on the other side of the road in most of my shots, watching the cars leave as well. I had no idea that we'd end up being friends. It's funny how that works out, isn't it, Roxy? She doesn't care. Next question. I'm buying a 350Z Coupe in June. How fun are these to drive? Ignore the fuel consumption bit though. Yes, fuel consumption. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to tell you, at the moment it's reading 23.8 because I've just done some drifting at the South Sitting the Rise event, but I have got up to about 25.5. That's still not that great, but fun to drive. I'd say they are. I think with a louder exhaust this will be a transformed machine. Are there any plans for more 3 classics or another road trip like TVR to Monaco or Cobra to Le Mans? Oh, he's a good fan of mine. He knows all the lingo and the hashtags that I use. At the moment, there are no actual plans, but we would all like to go to the Nürburgring at some point. So maybe next year. It's going to be one of those things that I say, oh yeah, we're going to do that next year, then we never do it. So maybe next year we might think of doing it, but there's nothing specifically planned right now. But now I've got this car, it's kind of like a Grand Tourer, so I can go places as opposed to the Cobra, which is a bit more limited. I mean, Le Mans is the furthest I really want to go in the Cobra, because it's not practical at all. In the short period of owning the 350Z, what has been the best and worst thing about owning the car? The best thing has been owning a V6. Never owned a 6-cylinder car before, so now I do. Worst thing, maybe hitting a traffic cone when I tried to drift yesterday. Yeah. And maybe also all of the irrational people saying, oh, you should have got the hardtop. But if I wanted the hardtop, I would have got the hardtop. I got the soft top because I wanted the soft top. If you haven't already, would you race your Cobra down the quarter mile? No, because I think I'd embarrass myself either A, losing traction, I don't know, disappearing, or B, being only as fast as a Micra next to me. If you could only choose cars from one country, which country would you pick? I would pick Britain. I like a lot of cars from the United Kingdom, that's probably the country that I would choose. What got you into filming for YouTube? Now, as with most people, I just started doing YouTube as just uploading random videos like Dog Saves Cat from Fox, which is my most popular video with 25 million views, nothing to do with cars, and it's still on my channel. So I started the channel in like 2007, uploading videos from Goodwood and car shows, but also animal videos, videos of my friends and I, and just as a random channel. I just had my name, Adam C, and then 3046 was some tagline that Bebo gave me, so I just used it everywhere. And then, I think it was 2013, I started doing it a bit more seriously to do with cars, because I realised people were enjoying the car videos, because that's my main passion. So I continued doing that, so it just spiraled on from there. And it is just a hobby. It's not like a full-time career of mine. I've got a full-time job separate to YouTube, but it's just a hobby of mine. I just enjoy myself. If you could own one American muscle car, what would it be and why? Cobra excluded. Does a Viper count as American muscle car? Because I really want a Dodge Viper. Other than that, I don't think I'd ever own one. What are your 3 top pet hates about the car scene these days? People who express their opinion as fact is the main one. People who don't respect everyone's cars. Obviously, again, down to opinion. People have different opinions on what cars and different budgets. Some young boy in his Honda Civic is just as much an enthusiast as a slightly older guy in a very modified Hayabusa engined Ford Escort. So you don't have to know everything about how an engine works to be an enthusiast. You don't have to have a Lamborghini Aventador to be an enthusiast. And if you do own a Lamborghini Aventador, that doesn't mean that you're just a show-off and you just have the car for showing off. You're still an enthusiast because otherwise you wouldn't buy the car. Everyone likes cars, and that's all that should matter. So I see all the comments saying, oh, that's a rubbish car. Well, that's maybe true to you. You may not like the car, but the guy owning the car, he must love it. I don't know, people are weird. I can't really give another, it all falls under one thing. That's what I don't really like about the community. Next one. How long will you have the 350 for? I haven't actually considered that, because I bought the RX-8 as a temporary car whilst the MG was getting worked on. Now I've got the 350Z to replace the RX-8, and the MG is still being worked on, but once the MG is not being worked on, I'll probably still keep this, so I don't actually know. Favourite colour? I don't know, as a colour I like midnight purple. Turquoise is probably my favourite colour at the moment. Where do you see yourself going, modification wise with the 350Z? I don't know. Exhaust. At the moment, that's all the next stage is in exhaust. After that, who knows? Give me some suggestions. Favourite retro car? As in a car that's modern but designed to appear retro, such as a Thunderbird, a Mini, a Beetle, etc. The Bullet Mustang. Yes, there we go, the Bullet Mustang, the new Bullet Mustang. I love that car. Next! Instead of putting that gay sticker on, go to the Nürburgring and do a lap time and slap on a Nürburgring sticker. Gay. Oh, he means the Adam C sticker on the back of my car. How is that gay? No, as I said, I might go to the Nürburgring one day, but no, the sticker is on there because I'm Adam C and it's my car. What camera do you use for the departure lounge videos and still photography? Suggestions for a video editing program. So I use a Sony AX53 for filming cars leaving the departure lounge, and I have a Nikon D7000 for still photos and video editing software. I'd probably recommend Sony Vegas, Adobe Premiere Pro. They're good suggestions. I've used Cyberlink Power Director in the past and it is awful. Honestly, I've wasted hours of my life from that program crashing, and I've used 3 different versions of the program on 3 different machines. So it's not just one version that hasn't been updated on a weird machine that can't cope. I've used a lot of versions of things and everyone crashes and goes wrong. So just avoid Cyberlink Power Director, go anywhere else. What made you pick the 350Z? Basically, I put everything that I wanted in a car into Auto Trader, rear wheel drive, manual and blah blah blah, and 350Z came up and I thought, oh yeah, I could do with one of those. I quite like them, I enjoy filming them leaving car shows, and I saw the convertible in blue and I thought, that's what I want. I want a convertible again, another convertible, so that's why I got it. JDM or supercars? I think I prefer supercars. Yeah, I prefer supercars to JDM. I'm sorry, I just do. I go to lots of JDM shows because there's more JDM shows than there are supercar shows. That's the main reason I film more JDM stuff. I still do like JDM cars, but I think I prefer supercars. Have you ever been to Waxstock? No. Do you like pasta? Yes. Would you consider buying a Porsche? I almost did buy a Porsche. Almost bought a Porsche 944 before I got my TVR. Phoned up to put a deposit on it. They said a deposit had already been taken, so that put me off getting a Porsche. Other than that, might get a Porsche one day, but I'm not sure. The Porsches I like the most are the Le Mans cars, classic Le Mans Porsches. I love classic Le Mans Porsches, but I'll never own one of those, so I don't know. Right, what was the main reason you thought the 350Z would be a good choice? I've already covered that. Why a 350Z not on S14? I've already covered that. I didn't actually want an S14 when I was looking for this car. Even though I said that I wanted one a few months ago, I now changed my mind. Which is your favourite car out of your MGB and your 350Z? I think, no, the MGB. Yes, I prefer the MGB. What's your 5 favourite race cars and why? as I say, I like Le Mans cars, so the McLaren F1 GTR, ideally the Lark Longtail, but I don't really mind which one. And then Porsche 911 GT1, probably 996 I choose over the 993, CLK GTR, Mazda 787B, Nissan R390, there are tons, Bentley Speed 8, I'm already beyond 5. I can't pick 5. McLaren F1 GTR is definitely the top. What got you into cars, or who got you into cars? My dad, I think, got me into cars. He likes cars, he had a TVR, he kind of fed cars to me when I was younger, and that kind of grew into an obsession with cars. Where did your passion for cars start? That's again what I've just answered. Why 350Z? Done that already. SR20 or RB26, and would you ever own an R35? I don't like this question because I've never driven a car with an SR20 or an RB26 or a 2JZ or something like that, so I can't really answer it because I've never driven one. All I can base it on is sound and what I've seen cars, so I don't really know. Would you ever own an R35? I don't think so. Out of all of the car shows you've been to, what would you say has been your all-time favourite, excluding Goodwood Festival of Speed? Haha, he knows that the Festival of Speed is my favourite. Can I say the Goodwood Revival? Because that was amazing. I know it's kind of close to the Festival of Speed, but no, I'm going to say the Goodwood Revival is another favourite of mine. It was such a good event. Recommend you finding the video on my channel of the Revival because it was a really, really good time I had there. If you could wrap any one of your cars one colour, what would it be? I would wrap this car, and I wouldn't get it in a colour. I want it in like a classic Le Mans livery, like in the Nissan, maybe the R390 livery, or I don't know. But I want it kind of like an old looking, so it's been driven and done the 24 hours, so it looks all kind of rusty, and not rusty, but you know what I mean. If you didn't have your 3 cars, what 3 cars would you have? I would have a Dodge Viper instead of the Cobra. I would have a TVR Chimera instead of the MG, and I would have a Mark 1 MX-5 instead of the 350Z. That would be my alternative choices. How often, if you ever have you got into an argument at a car show? One time there was a particular argument that was had. Basically the guy was being completely irrational and very against what I was doing, even though I was doing nothing wrong, and that went a bit out of hand. But most of the arguments have been with people online who again are just throwing unnecessary abuse at me or someone in the video or one of the cars, and just people thinking that, I don't know, some people are weird. Just at least get an exhaust or a muffler delete. Give me time. I don't have to get an exhaust straight away. Ever got into trouble with the police for driving? Nope, luckily I have not. Did you create Car Huddle? Just curious. No, Car Huddle is, as I say, a free online car show directory. It's not my website. I am just helping the development of it because I think it's a really good idea to get enthusiasts into the car shows that I go to. So if people want to find out about the car shows, instead of like asking me, because I can't really reply to every single person who asks, they can go onto Car Huddle and then they can find them themselves on the map, and they can add shows themselves. I just think it's a really good idea. So I'm helping developers push the website so it gets a bit more growth, so that people can use that tool to find the car shows and enjoy what I enjoy. And I add a lot of the car shows that I know about onto the website, so a lot of my stuff is there, so I want people to go there. So that's why I've been promoting Car Huddle recently. Why don't you own a Mini? Because I don't want a Mini. If you have the chance, would you try and be a host on Top Gear? I think you would make it better. Thumbs up. Oh, thank you. I would jump at it, but I don't think I'm good enough to host Top Gear. No, I know that I'm not good enough to host Top Gear. But who knows, in the future I might turn into some flamboyant presenter who gets excited about everything they go to. Trouble is, every time that happens, I go really posh. Do you have a bucket list of things you want to do? If so, what are they? I want to go to the Nürburgring. That's something I want to do. And I'd like to own a house. One day. The next comment is just, yeah, buddy. Okay. I am looking to purchase an MGB GT as my first classic. I am 20 years old, so what's the best advice for insurance and what to look out for? Insurance, I just shop around. Don't go to the specialists because they often say you have to be at least 25. Go to a normal insurer who have a classic policy. They often can tell their underwriters to insure you on a normal policy kind of thing, so it kind of works. Just shop around a lot. So the more shopping around and research you do, the more likely you'll find a cheaper quote. So just kind of phone up companies, speak to a person as opposed to go on to compare the market. Do that first and then shop around calling up companies directly. Sickest skid you've seen, mate? This is probably one of the best. Would Would you ever consider in the future making an MGB more track race focused car as an interesting project? No, this is already a project. I'm restoring it back to its former glory, to how it should be and was previously. I'm not converting it into a race car, so no, I'd never do that. Do you watch any YouTube yourself? If so, who do you watch? I think I've had this question in my last Q&A. I watch Tom Ska. He does the Astuf movies, but other than that, I don't really watch much YouTube. I don't really watch TV either. I don't do much watching of the stuff. What are your 3 top UK racetracks? Any reason why? I like Silverstone. I really like it. I'd like to do the full GP circuit at one point. Goodwood has to be on there because I'm so frequently at Goodwood. And maybe the Dunsford Arena Top Gear test track because it's synonymous with Top Gear. And I like Top Gear. Buy an Alpha already. No. Are you going to drift the 350Z like you did the RX-8? I did that yesterday. Link at the end of this video. Would you ever sell your Cobra? Now, a sensible thing to do would be to sell the Cobra now and put that money into a Dodge Viper, which is another car that I'd like, which will appreciate in value more so than the Cobra. Although the Cobra has weirdly appreciated in value since I got it, even though it's a replica. The replica market is doing quite well, so that's a weird one. So I don't want to sell the Cobra. It was my dream car, but it'd be sensible to do what I just mentioned. After a year of the Cobra, I'm taking a break for it in the winter because it's not very fun in the winter, but come the spring I think I'll get back in it and I'm going to love it. So at the moment, no plans. What is the most entertaining drive you've been on, be it a particular road you love or a convoy you've been in? Oh, there was one drive that I loved. Ah, that was it. I think it was in the Abarth 124 Spider. I took it to a car show in Farnham, where we then went on a convoy with the cars, and I was basically chasing a straight-piped Ferrari F40 in an Abarth 124 Spider, and I just loved it. That was such a great time. But the 3 classic videos, the tours that we do with my MGB, and then David and Ollie and Sean, VTSV, GDM Historics and GT6 Ollie, they are great fun as well. So one of those 2. When are you getting an MX-5? Now, I did look at an MX-5 before getting this car, and I just decided I didn't want an MX-5 anymore, or not at this point, because I don't know, I'd like one, but it's one of those cars I just want, but I don't think I'll ever own, because I've got the MG. The MGB is like the classic MX-5, and that's enough for me. But at the moment, again, no plans. I'm just content with what I am. So that was my Q&A. Sorry if it wasn't as entertaining as you'd imagine it to be. I'm just answering all the questions I got. I asked people to be inventive with the questions, and that's what we got. So if you've got any questions for me, go follow me on Instagram and ask me as a direct message on there. That's probably the best way I can reply to you, because on YouTube comments just get lost. But I hope you enjoy the video, and for now, thanks for watching.